Hey, True Believers, England Teens here with another episode of Comic Books Are Better. This is where we count down just a bunch of comic book stories, characters, and such that were just a lot better than what we're getting today. Considering what people are thinking of the Tom King run, and considering Batman Day was yesterday at this recording, and it's the 80th anniversary, why not do a Comic Books Are Better when they're Batman? So here are 10 of the best Batman comic books ever made. Number 10. Batman Son of a Demon by Mike W. Barr and Jerry Bingham. In this one, Batman and Ra's al Ghul team up to defeat his godson. At the same time, Batman and Talia are really kind of spicing up their relationship, and it gets to the point where Batman is wondering where his allegiances lie, and he spends more time protecting Talia than he does on the mission itself. It's also the book that kind of planted the seeds that would grow into Damian Wayne. So you either blame this one or celebrate it for that particular storyline. Not saying this is that character, but this is, like I said, this is where the seeds were planted. Anyway, I thought that Mike W. Barr really wrote a decent story, although the words beloved come out once or twice, way too much, a little bit. And that's why it's at number 10. Good story, though. Number 9. Batman Aliens. So here we get Ron Mars writing, but we also have Bernie Wrightson drawing. And he does the Xenomorph quite well, if you ask me. I'm a big fan of Bernie Wrightson art, and I think he really nails it here. One of the things that gets me is even against a Xenomorph, even against a creature as dangerous as that, Batman tries to uphold his no-killing rule. And that includes the alien. He doesn't want to kill the aliens, which I thought was weird. So he meets up with a whole bunch of mercenaries in the jungle to go find somebody who was lost. And they come across the alien ship. And it becomes an alien movie with Batman. It really does work. There's an aura here. There's a sense of dread that's created. And by the last issue, I really do believe he has the reader in the palm of his hands. Number 8. The Many Deaths of Batman by John Byrne and Jim Aparo. Now, let me tell you something, man. This is one of those stories. The first issue of this book is almost wordless. And the only word spoken in that first issue is by Commissioner Gordon. And it really had people going because it was like, wait a second. Are they saying that Commissioner Gordon knows who Batman is? Because he simply says, get out, and then he checks the identity of Batman. And that is an incredibly powerful panel. It really is. The whole story is really good. There's a killer going around knocking off the people who actually trained Batman. And so Batman's got to deal, of course, not only with the fact that there's a killer, but this killer may know who he is. And that just adds one more layer to it. Incredible storyline. This came out a little bit around the time the 1989 movie came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Number 7, Batman Prey. So, this is around the year 1 storyline, and Gotham City Police are trying to catch the Batman, so they figure they'll bring in Hugo Strange to kind of get up a psychological profile, help them figure out who it is. Thing is Hugo Strange starts to get a little bit intense. He creates another vigilante called the Night Scourge, and he begins to become very obsessed with Batman to the point where he really is beginning to find out who he really is. At the same time, he really wants to be him. This is one of the most psychologically disturbing stories that's been written. Well, I was about to say in recent years, but this is about 20 years ago, so take that how it is. Anyway, this has always been one of my favorite Batman stories. It's by Doug Minch and Paul Galancy. It was in Legends of the Dark Knight originally, and you should read it. You deserve to read this book. Number 6, Tales of the Demon. Now, I'm a Neil Adams fan, and this is about when Batman stopped being the campy hero. Seriously, this is the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul, and we have a story where Robin and Talia are both kidnapped, so Ra's al Ghul and Batman team up together. Obviously, it's a shaky team up because basically you're dealing with Batman being Sherlock Holmes and Ra's al Ghul being Moriarty, and of course it all comes together in that one big fight at the end. It's one of the best Batman stories told in the 70s. It really is. And like I said, it just sparked a change. And the characters are influential. And I got to say, just based on the fact that you get the first appearances alone, absolutely hands down something you should get. Add on to the art, and it's an amazing story that I think every Batman fan should at least read once. Number 5. Batman Mad Love. So everybody loves the Batman Adventures cartoon, and this is the origin story of Harley Quinn, and it's one of the best of the Batman stories out there, seriously. Of course, it focuses more on Harley Quinn and Joker, but it tells also about the intensity of Batman, how he wants to stop these two. Here we have Harley wanting to make Joker happy, so she takes one of his gags because she has been told that she's a little stale, and finds a way to make it work when the Joker can't. And she ends up capturing Batman more and has him closer to death than the Joker ever did. I absolutely adore this story. It's intense, it's fun, it's funny at times, and it tells a really good story. And also, you know what? I like the art. I know it's cartoon art, but guys, you got to check this out. If you haven't checked out Mad Love, you need to do so. Number 4, Batman the Cult. Homeless people start disappearing, so Batman goes into the sewers to find out what's going on and ends up getting captured and broken. That's one of the things. This is an intense story, man. I remember first reading this, I was like, holy Toledo, what's going on here? And I found out some of the things they used here is actually ways that they use to break people when they want to get them into a cult. Starvation, sleep deprivation, stuff like that. And he begins to hallucinate, and in the end, he starts following around Deacon Blackfire. It's a really good story, really intense. I don't want to spoil too much, but I mean, it's Batman. Of course, he's going to get out of it, but it's the how, it's the why, and it's the journey to get there. Absolutely amazing. When I first read this when it came out, it floored me, and I could not wait to get from one issue to the next. Number 3, Arkham Asylum, A Serious House is just an amazing storyline, man. Grant Morrison, Dave McKeon, they really weave a tale here, and it's so much. If you played the video game, it's kind of like that, except for different, where Joker takes a whole bunch of hospital staff hostage, and he forces Batman to spend the night in the hospital. And he's going around, and he's meeting up with some of his worst foes. And I got to tell you, the one that really got to me was the Mad Hatter. When he's doing his little speech and what he says about little girls, it's like, whoa, they took him to a different level. There are some who are little one-offs, like Maxie Zeus is there and then he's gone, but the whole story is just intense, and sometimes it's actually a little bit scary. Absolutely deserves its good reputation. Number 2, Batman Year One. I had to get a Frank Miller story in here, right? There's a couple of them. Yeah, so here you go. Batman Year One is, in my opinion, the quintessential origin story. After we got this, I never had to see another one. I'd never wanted anybody else to try. I just thought this told the story absolutely perfectly. Not just of Batman, but of Commissioner Gordon and his story as he's come in to take over, or at least get a spot on the GCPD. He didn't take over just yet. He's not commissioner by the time this ends. It's an incredible story, great dialogue, and wonderful art. You got Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli. I can never pronounce it, but dude, his art is awesome. Look at it. And somebody's going to spell it out in the comments for me. But you know what? I don't care. It's an amazing story, and I'm sure that you've already read it, and if you haven't, why not? And the number 1 absolute greatest Batman story of all time, at least for this list, is Batman No Man's Land. Here's a little secret. This could actually be my favorite 100%, hands down, without question, Batman storyline. I mean, this thing was epic. And in all honesty, it starts with Cataclysm. Some people believe it starts with Contagion. You could go there too, since it's mentioned in this book, but I believe it starts with Cataclysm. You got The Road to No Man's Land itself. There's so many books in this story, and it keeps you riveted all the way through it. It's an amazing book, and it shows how the Gothamites can come together even when the Gotham criminals are still trying to pull them apart. It's got great moments between Batman and the Batman family. My favorite, of course, is the way he deals with a Huntress and Leslie Tompkins in the scene where she deals with Zsasz. 100%, hands down, one of, if not the best Batman story ever told. So there you go, gang. That's 10 of the greatest Batman stories ever told. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Englentine, there is a Dark Knight-sized hole in this particular list that's the size of Long Halloween. And all I got to say to you is, this is just one of many, seriously. But let me know what you think is missing in the comments below. And don't forget to tell me what you think of the stories that I did add into this list. Do they deserve to be there? Do they not deserve to be there? Let me know. Let me hear about your list. Put it down in the comments below. Don't forget to click like and share and subscribe, the whole 9 yards. You know that. Click that notification bell, because that's all that YouTube cares about, so long as you have the notifications on. Cool things happen here. I don't want you to miss a thing. Also, if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi and just drop $1 in the till. There's tip jars there, and would certainly appreciate that. And if you want to commission one of your own videos, you go over to Ko-Fi. The link's in the description below as well. And all you got to do is pick a topic or subject, and then whatever you want me to do a video about. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.